This is Life Journey with Dawn Simmons, and I want to talk to you this week about commitment. I'm at Mugu Rock. Now, this isn't Mugu Rock here. Mugu Rock is in front of me. Pacific Coast Highway is right there. You'll be hearing it. And the Pacific Ocean is right here. And one of the things I want to tell you about is a quick story. Now, my second son, on his summer before his senior year of high school, came through here. He and his friends were going to the beach, and they stopped right here because he had this spontaneous moment where he wanted to test some of his skills, his rock climbing skills. And so he came right here behind me where I'm standing, and he climbed all the way up to the top of this rock. And as he was getting up there, he was making that last transition to pull himself up to the top, all the while mapping out his way down. And when he gets to the top and he makes that last transition, his hand slips. So he had enough commitment to be able to spontaneously get up there based on his experience and skill level. But then the unthinkable happens, and when he slips, there's really only one thing that's going to happen for him, and that's he's going to drop. So as he drops, he needs to make a decision. He needs to commit to how he's going to drop and how he's going to land to try to minimize his injuries. I tell you my son's story to give you an example of extreme commitment. He was committed when things were going well, and he remained committed when they weren't going well, and thankfully lived to tell about it. There is someone in the Bible who also took risks and remained committed when things were going well, and remained committed when things weren't going well. As we look at Paul, or Saul, when we are first introduced to him, he is a well-respected Pharisee, committed, he thinks, to God. Because of his commitment, he does what he thinks is right and sets out to murder all of those of the way, those first followers of Christ. Now, we can't say he is so committed to being a Pharisee that he would give his life for it, but we do know he's committed enough to kill others. After his encounter with Jesus in Acts 9, we learn that his commitment level to Jesus was pretty astounding. He is considered a founder of the movement of Christianity. His selfless acts on his missionary journeys yielded undeniable fruit. Paul spent about 20 years in service to the Lord, and that included 3 missionary journeys, a trip to Rome, a visit to Spain, and in all, either by foot or by boat, that included over 9,150 miles. As a result of his travels and all of the churches he established, we have 14 books in our New Testament. Yes, I said 14, as Hebrews was attributed to Paul by early Christians. In addition, for the sake of the gospel, which means for the sake of us, he was imprisoned multiple times for over 2 years, beaten, stoned, and left for dead. He was the cause of riots, was threatened, shipwrecked, bitten by a venomous snake, arrested, disrespected, humiliated, and those are just the things we know about. I want to talk to you a minute about this shipwreck, because we know that they left a little bit too late in the season. So because they left too late in the season, the weather was more treacherous. And we know that they were 14 days fighting the storm before the ship finally broke up. And if you think about what occurred in that shipwreck, they were out to sea probably 2-ish miles at least. The ship broke up. The water would have been cold because of the time of the year, and then they had to swim ashore to the nearest island in order to survive. Now that takes a level of commitment, because he didn't just say, oh, this is getting too difficult. to continue to serve the Lord. He then continued on and served the Lord. And on this island is where he's bitten by the venomous snake and shakes him off and prays and gets himself healed. And that's when people consider him to be a god, which he corrects. And in that time, in the 3 months they spent there, before they were able to get back into the ocean to head to where they were intended to go, he saved lives there. In the end, he paid the ultimate sacrifice, as he was believed to be beheaded in about 67 AD by Nero. He knew Nero personally, and there is historical evidence to suggest Nero used the established legal process to have Paul beheaded, because that would have been the way a Roman citizen was executed, not on a cross or other means. There are extraordinary people in the world who have sacrificed themselves so that we may know the way, the truth, and the life. So I challenge you to level up your level of commitment in just one area to honor the Lord in good times and not so good times. So whether it is consistent prayer, reading the Bible, serving at church, leading a Bible study, find one thing and commit to it for the glory of the Lord. If you want to add more life to your life, open up your Bible. And if you like this, hit the like button, share it with someone you think might benefit, and we'd love it if you would subscribe. Comments are always welcome.